From the Mayborn School of Journalism at the University of North Texas, this is NT Daily News.
Thank you for joining us today at NT Daily News. I'm Tyler Chambliss. Denton County began dispensing its first doses of vaccines in its first clinic available to all Texas adults on Tuesday. Denton County has been allocated 25,740 doses of the Pfizer vaccine this week. Denton County Public Health has planned 3 clinics for the week, aiming to administer 13,500 first and second doses. Denton County Public Health Director Matt Richardson says other parts of the nation have begun to see a spike. Denton County has not. Our outbreak is diminishing. We are being diligent and vigilant in our surveillance of new cases. If we start to see a trend reverse, we will report that. University of North Texas announced the extensions of contracts of both its women's and men's basketball coaches this week. Women's coach Jaylee Mitchell signed a 1-year extension through 2022-23 season whilst leading the Mean Green to its best Conference USA season. Men's coach Grant McCaslin signed a 2-year extension through the 2025-26 season before leading the Mean Green to a Conference USA tournament title and an NCAA tournament win over Purdue. Since the men's appearance in the round of 32 in the NCAA tournament, the university has already considered revising Coach McCaslin's contract again. The investigation of Denton County police officer that was arrested by the FBI for distributing child pornography is still underway. On March 12th, David Schoolcraft, the 15-year DCPD veteran, pleaded not guilty after being indicted on March 10th. Schoolcraft was found to be the administrator of several child exploitation message groups where he saved and traded photos of young girls on the message application Kik in late December. Schoolcraft will remain in federal custody pending trial where he could face between 5 to 20 years in prison, up to $250,000 in fines, and supervised release for at least 5 years. Schoolcraft's final pre-trial conference is set for May 7th. As the spring semester of the 2020-2021 school year comes to a close, this will mark a little over an entire calendar year and 1 full academic school year of online instruction since the start of the COVID-19 outbreak. For some students, this has been a change that has created elevated stress and strain as the temporary became the norm, and some have found a way to make this adjustment work for the better.
It's definitely been harder to communicate with the teacher and to collaborate with your students, but I'd say it's a little bit easier to learn. It's just my preference of style of learning. For getting info for your professors and getting the best out of your learning, I'd say in person is a lot better to have, and I probably would want to do more in person. UNT looks like it's having in-person classes this fall, and I'm really excited for that.
More and more schools and universities are beginning to open and more hybrid classes are becoming available. Some schools have gone as far to announce that they will anticipate opening back up completely, barring any resurgence of COVID cases for the 2021-22 school year. A Denton business made an appearance on ABC's Shark Tank last Friday. I had a chance to talk to Aaron Powell, the CEO of Bunch Bikes, about his local startup business. Right here in Denton, Texas, you can find North America's largest front-load cargo bike brand, Bunch Bikes. Bunch Bikes sells electric-assisted and non-electric cargo bikes that have room for the whole family.
So right now we mainly sell to families with young kids or dog owners, and it's a way that you can bike with your kids that's got a cart or a box in the front. You can put up to 4 kids in front, and so you can enjoy a bike ride with 1 to 4 kids, and you can actually engage and interact with them while you ride because they're up there in front where you can see them, talk to them, experience your community and your city together. So it's really about bringing families and cities and communities closer together.
Recently, Aaron's Bunch Bikes have gained a lot of popularity, which created a chance for him to pitch his business to some big-time investors on ABC's Shark Tank.
It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life because you know the impact that it's going to have. It's going to follow you around the rest of your life, whether it goes well or whether it goes poorly. Millions of people are going to see it. You'll never be able to, it's going to be like this moment in time that's going to be captured forever. And so you know that months in advance going into it.
Having that kind of pressure, Powell knew preparation was key.
I mean, every night I was watching episodes, taking notes, writing down every single question that they've ever asked in the last 5 seasons, and made sure I had an answer to every one of those questions, and I knew the answer pat, So numbers, financials, all this, every single question they love to ask, I had it all top of mind and ready to go. And I could have...
One of the biggest steps Bunchbox will take is drawing near. Whether an investment is in store or not, the business has a very promising future.
It's about to blow up, and it's all a big question mark. We really don't know what the response from Shark Tank is going to be. But once we have a handle on that, we'll have a much better idea of where we're going to be going in the future.
Before even considering signing up to be on the show, Powell had people encouraging him to take the next step.
I had no intention of doing it, but a former employee, Julie, she's like the world's biggest Shark Tank fan, and like every week she's like, dude, you got to apply for Shark Tank. You'd be perfect for Shark Tank. You got to do it.
With an exciting future just over the horizon, Aaron hopes to keep his business where it all began.
Denton's where I live. It's where we're going to stay. So, most of the people here live in Denton, and those that don't are moving here. So,
For NT Daily News, I'm Tyler Chambliss. You can see if Aaron and Bunchbox were able to make a deal with an investor on last week's episode of ABC's Shark Tank. Thank you for joining us again on NT Daily News.